Thanks so much for coming to watch this video, everyone. I'm going to show you how to make these huge ring pops. The first ring pop I'm going to make is using Jolly Rancher Chews. So these are the Jolly Rancher brand, but they're soft and chewy and of course delicious tasting, and they're just like Starbursts. So they're really easy to melt and pour into your ring pop. So this is our strawberry kiwi. Oh, this is our watermelon. And we're also going to be using the other 3 flavors, which are green apple, blue raspberry, as well as strawberry kiwi. So I'm going to be doing this in the microwave to melt these candies. So first you're going to do is take off the wrapper and ensure that you have a microwavable dish. And yes, some dishes crack in the microwave like glass, so just make sure yours is microwave safe. And make sure that you have adult supervision if needed, because this stuff can get pretty hot. So be safe, everyone. So this is my ring pop that I got off Amazon, and it's a cute heart shape, and it's also huge. And it's actually not a ring pop, but we're going to turn it into a ring pop. So it's a push pop, okay? And then we're going to put a ring pop on top of it, and then we're going to have a massive, gigantic, huge ring pop to wear, never-ending candy on our hand. So, like all the other push pop videos that I've made, first you're going to do is you're going to spray it so that it slides really easy in and out, and that is the candy, right? So it doesn't stick to the plastic. So you're going to coat that. I have cooking oil here. I'm sure any oil will do just fine. So here I have my first candy. I'm just finishing it up to get ready, and I'm gonna microwave it. And you guys, these soft candies don't take long. So start with 15 seconds and just make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled. This maybe took 20 to 30 seconds in total. So here we go. This is what it looks like afterwards. And remember, this is hot, so be very careful. And just carefully pour it into your push pop. And don't worry if the candy gets on the side, you guys, because when it cools off a bit, you can actually just slip it down because the oil, it won't make it stick. So you can just push it down to the bottom. Again, once it's cooled down, make sure that you can touch it before you go ahead and do this. And try to get it as flat as possible. And the beauty of this, you guys, is that you can make any pattern that you want. So then from there, you just put it in the fridge and make sure that it's hard so it doesn't get melted when you pour the next layer on. And then continue on with your next color. So I decided to do blue next, and then I did a layer of green, and then another layer of blue, and then I finished off with the strawberry kiwi. Okay, so ready to go. And remember that the amount of candy is dependent on the size of the container that you're using, all right, and obviously what pattern you'd like to go for. So again, 20 to 30 seconds, make sure you keep an eye on it and be very careful when you take it out of the microwave. So this will be our last layer, so we're going to pour this on top. And remember, all the other candy in there has been in the fridge, so it's nice and hard so it won't melt when this comes in contact with it. And make sure that you guys have the actual ring ready at this point, because what you're going to do, you're going to scrape off all that candy first of all as much as you can, and then you're going to rest your ring pop on it. And then you're going to put it in the fridge for the final time. Okay, so out of the fridge, and I'm just going to use the stick that comes with the push pop and just slowly push it up here. And because the oil, you guys, it actually comes off nice and easy. As I use the push pop, I'm going to go ahead and take off that part, and look at this, you guys. We have a humongo ring pop, and the best part is that this is made out of delicious candy, and it's going to be so good, so it's going to last forever. Nice and heavy, nice and big, and just so beautiful. Next one, you guys, is using candy corn. So in the spirit of Halloween, we're gonna try to make one that looks like this. Now, before you watch this, I have to admit that I actually thought about this and I still messed it up. So I wanted the ring, when you put it on, to go white, orange, yellow, and I still managed to mess that up. So you'll see that at the end, the ring ends up being yellow, orange, white. So again, lathering up your container that you end up using, I'm using a push pop, so you wanna make sure you coat it really good before you end up melting your candy. Since I'm trying to get the candy corn effect, I'm going to spend some time, which you won't see on this video, slicing off the yellow part and putting it in one dish, and then slicing off the white part and put it in the other dish. You want to make sure that when you slice off the white part that you get all the orange, or else your white is going to end up being orange. The yellow, unfortunately, has some orange in it, the way that the candy's made, so it's not as yellow as I would have liked, but what are you going to do, right? Okay, so here we go, all of our white little tips and all of our yellow bottoms and of course the center. So we're going to microwave these. Again, the less candy you have, obviously the less time it takes in the microwave. So just make sure that you guys are keeping an eye on this. And I don't know what it is about candy corn, especially when I made the slime as well, but for some reason this candy stays hot for a long time. So make sure you guys are super careful with this one. So again, this is my yellow, even though it looks orange. So you're going to pour that in very carefully, and I tried to scrape as much as I can just to make sure that we had enough. After you've flattened out your yellow layer and put it in the fridge to harden, you're going to move on to your orange center. So lots of candy here, as this is the bulk of the candy corn. And again, making sure that you get out all the chunks and being very, very, very careful. So carefully pour it into your push pop. Again, if it touches the edges, it's no big deal because the oil will prevent it from sticking. And once it's cooled off, you can just push it down. This looks so ooey gooey good. Once it's cooled off, I'm just going to use my finger and ensuring that there's no air bubbles in there and pushing it down as much as I can to make sure that it's flat to prepare for the last and final layer of the white. Okay, so far this is nice and cooled off from being in the fridge and it's ready to add the white. So my white is not that much candy, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, maybe put it in the microwave for 15 seconds. And I have my ring, so when I'm done pouring it in, I'll set it on top and it'll be ready to go. I kept this one in the fridge just for a little bit longer because I know this candy gets really hot, so I'm assuming it took longer to cool down. Once it's ready, you take it out and you slowly push it out, and voila, you have a gigantic candy corn ring pop. And in my case, I'm going to pop off this yellow piece and it'll be good to go. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this certain clip, that I wish I remembered to put the white at the top, and I actually tried to do that and I obviously messed up. So just pretend that this is looking like a real candy corn. Moving on to the last one, which is the ever so popular Jolly Rancher hard candies. So these are actually leftover candies that I have from my previous video, so I have a ton of cherries because I always end up having lots, and I kind of thought I'd go with like the Christmas theme maybe, so red, green, and pink. So I'm going to use watermelon, green apple, and cherry. So I'm going to start with my watermelon, and I got 3 dishes here obviously because I have 3 different candies, and these take a little bit longer to melt, but you still want to be careful with them because these get extremely hot, you guys. Alright, so here's our first melted Jolly Rancher, so make sure you're careful, you guys, because this dish is hot, and use adult supervision when needed because you will burn yourself if you're not careful. So I'm just scraping off the bottom. You have to watch with this candy, it actually does harden quite quickly. Alright, and I've had many people comment on how I clean my dishes, and if you just let the dish sit under running hot water, like very, very, very hot water, the sugar will just melt away, okay? So if you don't want to let the tap run, you can always fill it up with hot water and let it melt, and then do that again if it doesn't work. And again, in this case, if it gets stuck on the side, again, because the oil is there, once it cools off, you can just sort of push it down, and then you'll have a nice even layer. Alright, so into the fridge it goes. There we have it. This is nice and hard, and we're ready for our next layer, which is going to be green apple. Moving right along to our last layer. So our green, or our green apple I should say, and our cherry is nice and hard from being in the fridge. And we're ready to pour on the delicious melted watermelon Jolly Rancher. Putting on the most important part, which is your ring, and then you put it in the fridge. And I actually kept this in for a long time just to ensure that it was super hard. And there you go. You have a delicious Jolly Rancher ring pop. Thanks so much for watching this video, everyone. If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe so you're the first ones that can watch our new videos. Thanks!